Alright guys, here we are with patch 1.4.0. And with these patch notes comes a lot of nerfs and buffs. Some nerfs making people more butthurt than others. However, these changes weren't as substantial as you think. In fact, they were smaller tweaks that can possibly change the entire playstyle of some gadgets as well as weapons. Now, I really gotta say, I do appreciate that they made these adjustments this way, because a lot of games that I used to play, Destiny for instance, would make extreme changes, such as nerf a particular weapon or armor piece to the ground, rendering them completely useless in just about every instance of the game, rather than just limiting a particular playstyle. And for a moment here, can we give a little time to show the devs some love here? I am very surprised that they actually released this patch so near to Christmas. This shows a level of dedication and respect for the player's time, which is something I haven't seen in quite a while from the gaming industry. So if you can, show them a little love. And you know, maybe even leaving a thank you or two, before we all start going back to our post about region locking China. Alright, now that I'm done meat writing, let's get started. As usual, I'm going to leave timestamps on this video, so you guys can skip to the sections you care about the most. Patch Notes 1.4.0. Merry Patchmas, yokes. We're off to a pretty cringy start here. Okay. Today's patch notes comes with a lot of balance and quality of life improvements across the entire game, along with general crash fixes. We also made major changes to our anti-cheat detection to ensure fewer matches with players who don't play fair. Now I know it takes a while for game devs to adjust easy anti-cheat to cater to their game, and a lot of games are riddled with cheaters when they first release because of this process, the finals included. But I really hope this puts a dent into the amount of cheaters that there are, because fuck. It's a lot.
Hackerman. He's the most powerful hacker of all time.
Yesterday I had time for about 6 ranked tournaments, and 4 out of those 6 tournaments had at least one cheater just completely decimating the entire lobby. And even one of those tournaments, I had a cheater on my team, for which I started to take the cash box and throw it off the ledge or throw it towards the enemy team, taking my gas mines and attaching them to gas canisters, then making my way up the crane to blow it up right in his face, which inevitably led us to getting knocked in the first round. You know, because fuck cheaters. They are selfish pricks that ruin the gaming experience for everybody around them. Anyhow, back to the patch notes. And don't forget to bring your boots to Monaco because it's snowy and the halls have been decked. Ho ho ho, hop in there. Alright, let's get to the balance changes. Goo Gun, fix an issue where goo could block the player. I'm going to be honest, I haven't used this ability because I've been too busy holding the W key charging through walls. But maybe this could actually make the Goo Gun a little bit more viable. Mesh shields have their shields reduced from 1,250 to 1,100, which I do kind of agree with because you not only have the mesh shield, but you have the dome shield as well. And being able to penetrate that within the time it takes to steal is very hard unless you have a glitch grenade or all of your team is focus firing. The Recon Sense activation cost is now 1 rather than 2. So this might push players to use the Recon Sense rather than the Healing Beam, but I really struggle to see how this will trump the importance of keeping your teammate up and alive in higher level lobbies, especially right after they get rezzed or defibbed. But I could be completely wrong, and this could make Recon Sense absolutely amazing. I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. Now moving on to the gadgets. C4. C4, max player damage reduced from 240 to 210. C4's max damage radius reduced from 2.4 meters to 1.6 meters. C4 self-damage multiplier increased from 1 to 1.3. Maybe making those handcrafted C4 nukes a little less viable? I hope so. The dome shield's health has been reduced from 350 to 300. Now, the gas mines have arming times, which is 1.6 seconds. This just means it takes 1.6 seconds to activate. It doesn't change how fast you place the mine. Fix an issue where the goo grenade could block the player. Onto mines. The max player damage is reduced from 160 to 140. Mine damage radius reduced from 4 meters to 3.5 meters. Mine arming time is also 1.6 seconds. Pyro mine has arming time as well, 1.6 seconds. And now on to every light player's worst nightmare, the RPG.
Why are you running?
The max player damage is reduced from 165 to 150. The minimum player damage reduced from 90 to 80. The damage radius is reduced from 4.75 meters to 4.5 meters. Max damage radius reduced from 2.5 meters to 1.5 meters. The aim down sight dispersion is now increased slightly. And lastly, the hipfire dispersion is increased slightly. Now on to every heavy's worst nightmare, the stun gun, which received a buff, increasing its range from 10 to 12 meters. Onto maps, added a repulsor to the Flying Sorcerers in the Alien Invasion event. For Vegas, they updated a strain in various buildings to give better destruction results. They also resolved an issue where cash-out stations would become invisible for players before finishing the transfer. Onto modes, they disallowed deathmatch game show events from occurring in bankit game modes. Now we are finally on to the best part. The AKM had slight adjustments to the recoil pattern. I don't know if that means it's better or worse. I kind of wish they were a little bit more transparent here. Now onto the flamethrower. Dude, I hated this weapon so much in the beta. It made my screen so bright, I was literally seeing my dead relatives. And even with that, I have to be honest here and say it did get nerfed pretty hard. To the point that if I saw a heavy using it in a ranked tournament, I would just consider them to be throwing, because the shotgun and Lewis gun just simply outclass it in effectiveness. So they increased the fire rate for the flamethrower to 170 from 160. So this next buff makes me really happy because I use the LH1 a lot. I honestly think it's an underrated weapon, and if you can get used to the recoil, it can really hang in there with the big dogs such as the V9S or the XP54. And now the damage is going to be increased from 45 to 47.
I'm gonna come. Oh.
Dude, this gun is going to be shredding. If you're a light main, I highly recommend you get used to that recoil and use this weapon. It is so good. As for melee weapons, they fixed an issue where the melee hits didn't always connect with the enemy players. So that's definitely why my melee hits didn't connect. Definitely not because I'm dog shit with them. Yeah, definitely not that. For sure. Now on to the Parkinson's Simulator, the M11, which got its damage increased from 15 to 16. Now in all honesty, this weapon already shredded before the patch. And the only reason why I didn't use it was because of consistency. The recoil was just too extreme compared to the other automatic light weapons in the class that had manageable recoil and could pump out good damage as well. So maybe this damage buff could compensate for that crazy recoil pattern. Now onto the Riot Shield, they fixed the bug where the shield would block bullets while invisible during interactions. An example of this would be when you are reviving or stealing extractions. And lastly, the SA-1216's pellet dispersion increased slightly, as well as the damage being reduced from 8 to 7. Oof, they're really going in on heavy pretty hard, huh? Now on to movement. Vaulting, they reduce instances where you unintentionally climb down objects outside of the player's view, fixed an issue where players could get steps stuck without being able to give input. They now prevented the placement of zip lines on pick-up-uppables. Wow, that was actually harder to say than it really should have been. Anyhow guys, I'm sorry to say that your days of flying with the zip line infinitely are done. Now finally, we're on to the UI changes. Various fixes at the contestant screens, polished the social screen which now hides the invite party button when you are not the party leader, added a warning to the UI that appears when players are in danger of being AFK kicked, player health bars now use squad colors when selected in the settings, UI shows you as unranked unless you are among the top 500 of the leaderboards or have Chinese characters in your name. All in all, I think it's a pretty solid patch. I'm excited to see how things play out. Now, I don't know if this is going to make the light class any more viable and high level ranked compared to the attributes that medium and heavy class have to offer. However, I do wish they made adjustments to the glitch grenade, making it explode on impact rather than it being a timed detonation, which could solidify light's place in the team comp meta. However, that's just my opinion, and we're just going to have to wait and see how things play out. Anyhow guys, that's about all I have for you today. Let me know what buffs or nerfs you think should have been on there, and how you think the meta will shift after the patch. But if you guys found this video informative, please smash that like button. Again, it's a small button for you, but it makes a crazy impact on this channel. On that note, don't forget to subscribe for all things the finals. Have a safe, warm, and Merry Christmas, guys. I want to let you know that all of your support recently has been absolutely incredible, and it truly does mean the world to me. Thank you so much again. Peace and love, guys.